I'm excited to share these live episodes with you from the 2024 NADA show in Las Vegas. I'm on the LotLinx stage interviewing our industry leaders out there who have been so gracious to share the stage with me. We're doing live recordings. They're sharing strategies to help our industry and our businesses level up. I hope you enjoy each and every one of these episodes. Listen and learn. Hey, it's Jen Suzuki, and I'm in the industry. I meet some of the greatest leaders out there, dealer execs, dealers, GMs, and I'm bringing them in the studio to talk to me about what's making their business pop, what's accelerating their growth. I'm sharing my own personal strategies for your sales teams, so I'm ready to get after it. Are you? Hey, listeners, welcome back to Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki podcast. I'm here live at the NADA show, and I've really tried to find people that are making an impact in the industry that can help dealers, leadership in the dealership, pinpoint areas that strategically can be an initiative to dial into this year and just blow up 2024. A lot has been changing, and I'm really thrilled to introduce you to Aleks Keric here with the Murgado Auto Group. And I hope I didn't just butcher your last name. Did I say it right?
No, that's correct. Aleks Keric.
Woo! I'm winning actually so far. And so he's out of the Chicago area. And anyway, one of the things that stands out for me is used cars. It's used cars is this big old thing that it's been blowing up for years. And now the market is shifting. It's a lot like the housing market, in my opinion. It's highs and lows. Even in my own trade value this last year, I watched my own vehicle drop $1,000 in the course of a week. And so when things are shifting so rapidly and we're trying to straighten up, get buttoned up in our expectations and benchmarks when we look at the used car inventory, can you share some of your strategies that have helped you get a grip on used cars into 2024?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. So as far as 2024, I think, you and I were talking a little bit about it before the podcast. I look at used cars and we talk about risk management. And I think we as car dealerships or car dealers, operators, don't treat risk management as a strategy. And I think we should. I think it's important. I hear a lot of the terms, other podcasts, people talking about used cars as like the stock market, right?
Yes.
So with the stock market, it's the same thing. It's like, how do you mitigate, manage risk? And I think we need to have that same approach in used cars as well.
Okay, so tell me about this. So you're saying, a lot of times we don't look at inventory risk management as a thing. Mm-hmm. And you're saying, you know what? Going into 2024, we've seen it go high and low, high and low. So it's something that you're watching every day. And of course, nobody wants to lose money.
Correct.
Right. And that's the risk that we run. And so tell me some of the ways that you approach it and tell me the things that you're targeting and tell me what are you doing about this to stay on top of it if it's such a concern, that we have to make it more of a strategy that we're looking at regularly, maybe more than we usually did in the past.
Yeah. So what we use is we're a profit time dealer group. So we use profit time. So we look at, with profit time is, to me, it's always been a risk management tool, right?
Okay.
And that's how I look at it, right? So some of the bronze cars that are going to be your higher cost to market vehicles, you own them for a lot more, and there's not enough demand on them. Those are the cars that I'd be, from a risk standpoint, is like taking them in on trade, for instance. If you had a really busy day, you took 10 cars in on trade, 5 of them are bronze, 5 of them are platinum, your service department's bogged down. What are you going to do?
Yes.
Which ones you're going to run? Well, they're going to run the platinum cars first because they're like, hey, we're going to turn them. We're going to make a bunch of money on them. On the bronze cars, we're going to hold off. And then by the time they get into service, it might be a week or two later. And then you own them for even more. And the average car in a normal depreciating market depreciates anywhere from 2 to 3%. So the higher your cost, you're at 98% cost to market. You really don't have a whole lot of time within 30 days. If it goes longer than 30, you're going to end up running into that risk of owning it for retail. And that's where then the losses start coming in.
So how do you mitigate this?
Well, I mean, I think it's just watching it every day and managing and making decisions, not only just for reconditioning, but as far as marketing as well. Like, getting with your marketing department and saying, hey, these are the cars that we want the most focus on because they're at-risk cars that we own for a lot of money, not a lot of demand. So we need to turn them in.
Okay,
as
so
quickly as possible.
what you're saying is now I'm targeting these cars and I'm communicating with marketing, or you're probably using some digital tools that you're gonna say to, hey, flag
Yep.
these cars, flag these cars. These could be problem cars.
Correct. So we're sitting in the LotLinx booth. So we are a LotLinx client, and that's what I like about the tool, because I use it as well to target those cars that are, don't get a lot of activity that we need to move. So again, the machine and AI is going to be more and more important this year, and I think that machine kind of does a lot of that work for me, so that I don't have to make the decisions.
Okay, so tell me what that looks like. Because look, sometimes I'm curious myself, because I see the tool, you can load your inventory in it. A lot of times people will say that use LotLinx. They say, I like that I was able to market on a VIN level, specific cars. And so that way my marketing budget isn't all tied down to, a particular source that maybe doesn't even need to be on that car, because we're going to sell the car anyway and stuff
100%.
like this. But tell me what does this look like for you? You are a daily user. So what are you looking for that's in the software that you're targeting that's helping you ensure that you're not losing money, that you're targeting very specific cars? Like, how do you use the system? Give me this cliff notes on how I should use the system.
So the system, the way I use it, I let the machine kind of do everything, right? I trust the machine. I've seen it. It does.
It's good at predicting.
It's very good at what it does, right? So, but I look at the VVO, which is the back end tool, and it shows me which cars are, not getting activity on them. So then I can get with my team and say, hey, we need to, let's look at leads. Let's see what's going on, just so we can start, managing the activity and trying to get those cars to move.
Okay. And so if you notice something is a red flag, what do you do? How do you change the behavior of how it's been trending, so that way you don't get yourself in a jam?
So
what do you do to shift it?
So what we do is we'll get with the marketing team. Hey, let's focus more of our marketing dollars, and then just getting the teams to call those leads and really look at those leads on those cars that are underperforming, right? Because the ones that are overperforming, and they're going to sell anyway, right? We don't have to spend any money on them. We can park them in the back of the lot and cover them with tarp, and they're still going to sell it, right?
Right.
The customers are going to find them, but the ones that are the problem childs are the ones that we're not really having any activity on.
So do you feel that the benefit here is that you're able to move the car faster?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
By now, you've probably heard the team at LotLinx say that over 70% of your inventory is not receiving marketing exposure. Whether you believe them or not, have you taken a look at your analytics to be sure? The LotLinx VIN View Optimizer is a free analytics tool that can give you a pricing, demand, and engagement analysis for every VIN on your lot. It's the most efficient way to ensure your inventory is getting the right attention for the right price. The best part is that the data is pulled straight from your own Google Analytics and store feed. There's no bias from any channel or marketing platform, including LotLinx. So if you're interested in a transparent look at your inventory analytics, head to LotLinx.com/VVO to get started with the free tool. And check out the LotLinx website in the show notes. Yeah. And what else? What else am I missing?
I think
You're like, that's it, Jen.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think it's cut and dry.
I like when I'm winning.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, so we're talking about managing risk with our used cars in particular. Is there another strategy that you've deployed this year because you started noticing maybe some other things shifting and changing that have really helped you modify the way that you look at your business, maybe differently than 2023? And where do you see this going and trending that we could keep our eye on to ensure that, again, we're super dialed into the industry's biggest challenges right now when it comes to used cars?
Yeah. So we're going back to a turn, a hard turn policy at 60. And I think a lot of
I've
dealers,
heard people say this.
A lot of dealers, like even us last year, a couple years ago, right, throughout the pandemic, everyone's like, hey, let's hold on to them a little longer. All the cars were appreciating. What we do is, if you want to keep the cars, our dealer group, what we'll do is we'll write them down.
Okay.
And then it's kind of like put your money where your mouth is. If you think that car's got merit and it's going to move, we're going to hold on to it a little longer, then we'll write it down and then we'll hold that money and give it back to you when the car sells.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of it's like policing.
Yeah. We have rules in place now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we got away from those rules in the last couple of years. So now you need to get back to the basics and managing that a lot better.
Yeah, that's honest. Okay. Yeah. Anything else that you're willing to share with us that's been a big, impactful moment, strategy, something that you've started to execute even with your used car team, and maybe even the way that they present cars, sell cars? Has anything changed for you when it comes to being able to, look, you're managing your inventory, but I'm trying to get those cars off the lot. Somebody's got to sell them. Is there anything that you can say, hey, this was a thing that was okay in the past, in 23 vibes, but 2024, our sales process has to change? Anything that stands out?
Yeah. So again, going back to the blocking and tackling, right? We forgot how to write descriptions. You didn't have to have pictures of vehicles. You didn't have to have compelling descriptions. Cars were just selling, right?
Yeah.
Flying off the shelves. So like going back to the basics of writing those compelling descriptions. And then again, that AI piece, now you've got things like ChatGPT. We use that
That's my favorite tool.
Yeah. To write compelling descriptions. So there's no, I know it's tedious and everyone's like, hey, I don't want to write a description. Now it's like, hey, I can type it into ChatGPT and the machine will do it for me in 30 seconds or less.
Okay, I have to ask this question. So I want to just be very clear about descriptions, because you're the second person that said this to me, since I've been here. But I've seen a lot of vehicle descriptions. What do you mean by better descriptions? Does this mean that you are leveraging ChatGPT to help you construct like a little bit more of a better content to describe the vehicle, or are you leveraging a little extra human touch? Somebody told me yesterday that they said, I'm using the the repair order out of service and what we did, and I'm putting that in the description. Another person said, I'm doing banners now because we do lifetime tires, or I don't know, a powertrain. So now I got is there something that you have found to work for you when it comes to the way that you list these cars and the descriptions that you decide to put on there?
Yeah. So what we did is we started, I think about like the shopper, right? Our websites, we might be open X amount of hours during the day, but the website's 24 hours. So what we did is we had a prompt in ChatGPT where we would actually put in like a why buy. So why buy from us? So when they're reading it, and then also using emojis. People are like used to emojis, so little emojis.
Heart, like.
Yeah. So some of that stuff, but that's really it. I think, like I said, that's merchandising in general, just getting the cars faster.
What about the photos?
Photos too, just faster time to market in general. Like I said, going back to 2 years ago, that didn't matter.
Yeah.
Now it's like, every second, every minute counts.
Yeah. Okay. Great advice. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yes, I am super excited to hear some of the strategies that you're using that you have success with. I would never want to hear anything that doesn't work. And so all of my listeners out there, I just want you to know, we've got some really great things here to help you level up in your business. And anyways, I hope you'll take action and try something. And you don't know if anything works unless you just try it. And I think 2024 vibes, we just need to try some new stuff.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. If you like these episodes and my sales game techniques, you should snatch up our latest dealer education program I'm hosting. It's called Jen's Remote Classes, and it's a 1-hour, once-a-week class with me alongside other dealerships, all pursuing the same end game to achieve top 10% status in your dealership. For more info, hit me up. All my contact info's in the show notes. I want to hear from you. And follow Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki right now to get notified when episodes like this one drop. This is Jen on the podcast Dealer Talk with Jen Suzuki. See ya!